For almost 25 years, I was avoiding visiting Venice. Reason for this could be found in my initial disappointment with this city. As a day tripper, I visited Venice with a group of my high school friends. It was raining and we were bumming around with masses of other people at tourist hotspots. We didn't have enough time to explore Venice or to go anywhere else aside from main attractions. And we couldn't even enjoy the main attractions due to presence of too many people.
And
Since that
typical
day,
scene of
I
Venice.
decided I would never travel as a part of package holiday arrangement. So far, I kept my promise. In December 2021, I got a chance to visit Venice again. I was invited to partake in annual meeting of the FAR network. I was afraid that I would find a museum city, a scenography for tourist gaze. I thought that locals in Venice are an extinct species. How wrong I was. Venice indeed has plenty of issues arising from too many visitors. However, it is far away from a ghost town. Locals are living here just as anywhere else. They go to school, walk their dogs, deliver food, and gather for aperitivo in small bars far away from tourist spots. During my stay, I was also curious to hear impressions about Venice from my colleagues. Some of them are locals, some of them are ex-locals, and others come from other European countries.
Hi Ed, we are in Venice,
Just arrived.
just arrived. What do you say for Venice? How do you feel here, coming for second time?
Oh God, Venice is such a, a, a gift from history. Even like the idea of the St. Mark's Square or Marco Polo or all these characters, but it's such a gift of history. And part of me feels like this gift. And then I ask the question, what are we going to gift, in hundreds of years? What will we contribute? And when you look at Venice now, there's always this sense of sadness because nobody lives here. It's only like a Hollywood center.
Yeah, I had a different experience actually in my area where I'm staying. I saw lots of people gathering for lunch, chatting, drinking their little drinks, meeting other people, and you see that people know each other. They were coming to coffee places, and then the waiter would say, "Oh, ciao, Paola, ciao." So I felt this sense of community, but here, definitely in this area around San Marco Square, you feel really that you are in this bubble of tourists, right?
Yeah, and like the thing about the tourism is that it keeps people packed into tight spaces all the time. So when you come, like when I come here, I always then try to find the places where there's nobody and just find those streets that you can walk in where you won't have to be with hundreds of people.
Yeah, me too.
And by the way, St. Mark's Square, I love it when it's early in the morning at 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock. So I'm definitely waking up early in the morning and going to there.
To experience.
Yeah, there's something,
peace.
there's something different about it when it isn't at the high moment of the day, either
Well,
late at night or early in the morning. I think yet still people want to go and travel and be present in places as tourists. And it's such a limited, role. It's so limited, You can go, you may not know anybody, you just do what everybody else seems to be doing. And it's like pushing cattle through different streets, I always feel of the cattle being pushed through the streets to the market.
In one way, then in
And then
another
another way,
and then they meet.
and then at a certain point, you're going to either be milked or you're going to be shot.
Prosper, hi.
Hi.
What does Venice mean to you?
Venice, well, it's a big
I know,
the question.
but just firstly, what is...
It means that you can work in different contexts, and it's a very cool city, and it's very full of story, full of characters. So it's a pleasure to work inside the city and to remember different stories, to discover new stories. So it means that for me, walking in different contexts, different stories, meeting different people, different places.
To be Venetian is a philosophy of life. for us, and I'm talking about us, not me, because we are a group of people. Uh, Venetian is not who was born in Venice, but who likes to live in Venice. A Venetian could be a guy from America, from Naples, from Russia, from every country of the world, because for example, in Venice there's a lot of Venetians born in another country, but they decide to live in Venice, because living in Venice is different from another city, because for the clear reasons we have no cars and we live all together in a very international place, but very small at the same time. This is the main paradox of the history of Venice right now, because the tourism is the 95% of our economy, so we can't survive without visitors. Visitors are our bread, and but at the same time, the tourism is very bad because the business expel Venetian from the city, because the tourism needs more spaces every day more. So less services for the habitants means less habitants, and less habitants means less services for the habitants. It's a circle, and so the example is the houses. Now there's more or less 7,000 apartments renting for the tourists, and that 7,000 apartments in the past was houses for Venetians. And but at the same time, I am an activist, but I work with the tourism. I survive working in hotels. So this is a paradox. For example, we made 10 points, and we gave to the tourists these 10 points to respect Venice. Because we think the tourist in Venice must be educated to live Venice, because it's not a normal city. The philosophy is come here, you are welcome, no problem, but be careful because people living here. So a tourist must be has the right to visit Venice, but the habitant has the right to live in Venice. So we have to find a balance, and we would like to explain in the world the rules. I call rules, but they are not very official rules, but
Suggestions.
suggestions to live all together very well.
You have experience of living in Venice before and you see Venice now. How do you experience this town or city?
Well, it has been 25 years that I live here, and I was 20 years old, and then I student of architecture. So it was my city in this year. For me, it's very similar to Cordova because it's an urban tissue of very narrow streets with this campus, and it's like an Arab city, and for me it's very similar. At the same time, it's very different to Cordova, but it was so comfortable.
Do you feel like the Venice is this as some people say that it's museum city? Do you think it's like just museum empty city, or do you feel that there is life and that there are people living here that give the flavor?
I think there is two Venice. There is when you live here, you are able to walk in other ways. You are able to discover another place, like another city, at the same space as the tourism city. No, so I think it's alive, but it's also that my experience was like as a student, no, and I think this is this university city, tourism city. I'm not very sure if it's more than that, but I want to believe that yes.